Peace, world, and welcome. I am God's middle child, and this is the analog station where we hit pencil to paper to share some wisdom. Today, I want to talk about shifting your reality. I want to focus on one pillar out of that manifestation process. Before I get into my notes, I want you to hear this clip from the Master Key System by Charles F. Hannell.
Mental strength is secured in exactly the same way that physical strength is secured, by exercise. We think something, perhaps with difficulty the first time. We think the same thing again, and it becomes easier this time. We think it again and again. It then becomes a mental habit. We continue to think the same thing. Finally, it becomes automatic. We can no longer help thinking this thing. We are now positive of what we think. There is no longer any doubt about it. We are sure we know.
If I plant tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers, I am certain to expect tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers. See, the seed, my assurance of the seed is step one, followed by the action of me planting the seed is step two. But I want to focus on the third step, on that third pillar, which is the certainty, the assurance, the knowing, the expectancy that the crops will grow. Meaning, you plant the seed, you water the seed, and you go to sleep. You are so certain that with time, those seeds are gonna grow accordingly into the tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers. You are certain of it. And that step is the same step you need in order to shift your reality. You need to have a certainty. You need to have a knowing and assurance that the seed, which represents you at your current state before your desired reality, that the seed with the action, right? Without planting the seed, you can't expect the harvest to crop. Impossible. You know that, and it won't happen, obviously. The seed, the action, but the third step is highly overlooked. The third step is really what's blocking a lot of people from shifting, from making that quantum jump, that quantum leap. That third step is the knowing, it's the expectancy that the action is going to take you there to your final destination, to where you want to be, to who you want to be. And that step, when it comes to the process of planting, is a lot easier because it's not really you. But once you put it on you, once you put it in yourself, your canvas, right? What you're picturing, the fear wants to come in and try to attack. The fear wants to come in and try to prevent you from really having that certainty, from really having that expectancy. And the less you have that certain, the less you are sure that you're gonna get there, you're literally putting roadblocks in your manifestation road. You're putting roadblocks, you're making your journey a lot more difficult than it has to be. Because whether you realize it or not, your strong assurance, right, and expectation is key for those harvests to grow. You are part of that manifestation process. Without you planting that seed and without you expecting the harvest to crop, it would not happen. So the same must be done when it comes to your shifting reality to where you want to jump, to who you want to be, to what you desire, to what you want to manifest. You're the seed at your current state, action, and then expectancy. Expectancy. So focusing on that pillar, on that third pillar to your desired reality, I believe there's two ways to get there. There's two things you must do in order to give more strength to that knowing. Give yourself more strength to that assurance that you're going to get there, that your desired reality is already there, really. It's in the quantum field. It's there waiting for you. If you alchemize the energies, right? If you take the C, you at the current state, do the action that's needed with joy, right? Because you're going to do it with joy. Once you have the assurance, the more you know that that's waiting for you in the quantum field, the more you know that it's destined for you to have it if you move accordingly, if you have that knowing. And I believe there's two ways to get there. One, you have to disconnect. And two, the second step is you have to seek the knowledge. You have to seek the knowledge. The knowledge, seeking the knowledge is what's going to give you that assurance. It's what's going to make you water yourself and go to sleep at ease. It's what's going to make that action, that Pacific ride, that beautiful scenic road, beautiful. You're going to enjoy your action to where you want to go. That's the joyous part right there, the action. That second step is the joyous part. But if you're not knowing, if you're not sure, if you're not certain, then that action becomes a bit of work. That action becomes a little bit fearful. Fear starts penetrating through that action because you're not sure that you're really going to get there. Something in you tells you, I don't know if I can get there. I don't know if I can shift my reality. You're saying it to yourself. You might not be saying it, but the lack of knowing, the lack of being certain, the lack of being that assured that you are going to get to your final destination, to that shifted reality that you want, that lack is destroying the path, is destroying the action, it's destroying the whole process. You need all three in order to transcend. You need all three in order to shift. They're all just as valuable. But that last step is the most difficult. That last pillar is the most difficult step because we are distracted. And we have been, it's a lot of distraction. I mean, you have to, it's so deep because even the way you think you think wrong. Even the way you think, you might have to shift. If you think with fear, if you have anything with fear in you, then that's the problem. And right now the world is full of it. The world is giving you fear left and right, up and down. Everywhere you look, everywhere you open, fear is there. Afraid of this, be careful here, don't do this. This is fear, fear, fear. That is your distraction. You're being distracted. It's cluttering your canvas. You're not able to paint as clear, right? And even if you get to paint as clear, all this distraction is affecting you from having that security, that assurance that you're gonna get to your desired reality. Seeking the knowledge, seeking the wisdom, seeking the teachers, seeking the books will give you that strong belief. Will give you that assurance. You know what? This is how the impossible gets done. I mean, there's 8 billion people in the world, yet you can only watch the movie from your lens. So that means you have to focus on your movie. Focus on you. Focus on your desired reality. Understand everything around you is here to prevent you from maximizing in your reality. That's the game. That's the game of life. The game of life is that you have dreams, you want to be in a certain place. Everything here is making it difficult for you to go from here to here. And it's your job to seek the knowledge. It's your job to disconnect from the stuff that's not going to add to you in the long run. If it's not going to be in that bubble where you're painting it, you might as well cut it off now. Or at the very least, start reducing it. I'll give you an example. I'll use me as an example. I traveled to IG World, to IG Island. I call it IG Island, Instagram Island. I traveled there, meaning I deactivate my account. I go in for a couple of weeks and then deactivate my account for a couple of months. And when I want to tap in with some friends and family, and when I want to see what's going on in the world, I'll tap in for a couple of weeks, and then I'll fly out of Instagram Island. Do whatever you can do. Do whatever you can do. Take your steps towards disconnecting, because you must disconnect. It's almost impossible to really manifest with all of this distraction. It's too much distraction and all of it is negative. Too much distraction, all of it is negative. If your desired reality is in the positive realm, you want to cut all those distractions that are negative, because they're literally taking up space for no reason. They're making your journey harder. You put in obstacle courses in your journey to your manifestation. Kill the distraction. Take steps to slow down the distraction at the very least. Seek the knowledge. Trust the wisdom that you're going to get. And once you have that strong belief to who and where you want to shift to, everything before it is the fun part. That action is enjoyable. You enjoy that action to that destination. You take pictures to that scenic route, beautiful mountain views, beautiful beach views, beautiful roads, beautiful trees, all that greenery. That's the action. But you only enjoy that ride when you know, when you're certain, like the seeds, like the tomatoes, when you are certain that that's waiting for you, because it's already there in the quantum field waiting for you to alchemize everything together to get there. Kill the distraction, seek the knowledge, enjoy the process. Peace, world.